G'day, welcome to my garage and the Canunda and Emu Flat Railway. As you can probably see, the layout is just a folded dog bone. Over this side of the peninsula we have our staging. Trains come out of the staging here. Trains coming out here are said to be coming from Adelaide. The line represents a fictional section of track somewhere between Adelaide and the Victorian border. The main line comes along at the back of that little station, and we come into the first and the major station on the layout called Canunda. Canunda has a number of industries here, including a BP agent, container crane based loosely on one at Murray Bridge, goods shed with a crane. Over the back there we have a 2-stall engine shed, locomotive refuelling, passenger station, high level platform here, Lockie Mills, flour mills, Athol Freezers cold store, wheat silos, stock pen, there goes the Daily Stone train, hauled by 2 Australian National Alcos. In 1984, the period modelled on this layout was a very colourful layout, as you'll see. Colourful array of locomotives were running at the time, as you'll see later on. We crossed Bindi Creek here on a truss bridge. The track then goes across a railway crossing into High Mountain Tunnel. As the trains come out of High Mountain Tunnel, we have a little branch line heading up here into a place called Maranelgo. Maranelgo is just a small branch line terminus which has firewood dealer who ships out mallee roots, cattle pen, goods shed, wheat silos. Back to the main line and we come to Con's Choice Fruit and Veg at Wooldowie. Wooldowie is a little country town, typical South Australian station with 3 tracks, main line, passing siding and a goods loop. Once again we have a goods shed with crane, wheat silos, cattle pen. This time the station has a low level station. Both types were used in South Australia. These signals are the train order signals. They are there until I install some better semaphore type train order signals. There's one of the automatic block signals. Back over Bindi Creek, this time on a girder bridge. Then the line follows along, cutting along the front of the layout, and we come to Jimba Junction. Branch line heads off here back into staging to a station called Myrtle Springs, which is not actually modelled. But the main line follows around to Emu Flat, another typical South Australian station with a passenger station, a goods shed with crane, wheat silos, and stock pens. At Emu Flat we shunt Penston Quarry, limestone quarry. We see a rake of hoppers there, empty hoppers there ready to be loaded. Go across 5 Mile Creek through a through girder bridge. The quarry here is, once again, it's real rocks set in plaster. It's quite effective, I think. Now we come into the staging yard. As I said, this represents to the rest of the world. This end is the Victorian end. Trains leaving here are said to be coming Victoria and heading towards Adelaide. The other end, called Cooper, trains are leaving from Adelaide heading over into Victoria. The early 1980s is a good era to operate because and model, because we still have brake vans, cabooses to our North American friends. Here's a lemon twister caboose or brake van. An Alco. There's the Overland. Travels between Adelaide and Melbourne. Through freight with 2 V-line EMDs. Overland has 2 Australian National Alcos. This is the Adelaide Jet arriving here. The first generation S-Class Victorian Railways loco. In the back is the Steamy, which runs steam specials. And a collection of engines ready to go at the engine shed there. We'll go through to the end and we'll have another look down the length of the layout and pick out a few more interesting things. We run operating sessions to a 4 to 1 clock, timetables and train orders, waybills. I have pictures on the front of the waybills to help operators identify their cars. You'll probably get a bit of a good idea of the length of it and size of the layout. It's about 25 foot long, about 10 foot wide at the widest point. Track is all Pico Code 100. Medium radius turnouts on the main line and small radius turnouts mainly used in the yards and industry tracks. All operated by Pico point motors. There's no control panels as such. All the points are all the controls for each point is opposite the layout near the respective turnout. The red line is main, yellow passing sidings, and white tracks are industrial tracks. The layout is controlled by DCC. I use a Lens Compact. It's only 2-digit coding, but it certainly does all we want to do. We have one LH90, of course, here, this one, and 3 LH30 compact handpieces. I belong to a club called Adelaide Model Railroaders. It's building a large American type layout. I also belong to the NMRA and the Operations Special Interest Group. I'd advise anyone taking up this hobby to join a club. Adelaide Model Railroaders is open for membership. Details of the club can be found in the December issue of the Australian Model Railway magazine, as well as the other magazine called Model Railways in Australia. Thanks for coming and having a look at the layout, and hope this has been interesting. If you have any questions or queries, don't be afraid to comment.